Hi, my name is Mrs. Ward, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what psychology is all about and what to expect in September. Okay, so what is psychology? Psychology is the science of mind and behaviour, and our main goal is to understand why people are behaving the way that they do. And basically, the more we understand about human behaviour, the more we can try and increase the positive and reduce the negative. So we can increase things like pro-social behaviour, helping behaviour, and try and reduce things like aggression and criminal behaviour. And first off, I'd like to say congratulations because you have picked a fantastic course. We're going to develop lots and lots of your skills, things like your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills, and also there's some maths in there. So your statistical analysis is going to be improved as well. There's going to be lots of extended writing, so you're going to be forming discussions based around sort of the research that's available. So lots and lots of transferable skills. It does link really, really well with other subjects. Things like business, RS and biology, lots of transferable skills, but also the subject matter is also, there's some overlap there as well. So they do complement each other quite nicely. Another reason why psychology is brilliant is that it's really, really applicable to everyday life. It explains many of our everyday experiences. It explains disorders, behaviours, things like depression, addiction and aggression, things that we're really familiar with. So we can really sort of relate to it. There's also a wide range of topics, so there's something for everyone. You might not like everything that we cover. You can see there's a wide range of things that we cover, and so there is going to be something in there that you can really get your teeth into. You can see here that there's three papers to this course. There's no coursework element, there's just 3 exams. We don't teach it in a linear fashion. We do little bits here and there to try and sort of show you the big picture and how everything sort of links together. In terms of what the exam looks like, it's a multiple choice, it's short answer and it's extended response. So it's a really nice looking exam paper. Each topic has an element of the multiple choice, short answer and extended response. And the extended response is no more than 60 marks, so it's not completely overwhelming. In terms of what to expect in September, we've said that we've got these 3 papers to cover, but we don't teach it in this linear fashion. What we're going to start with is approaches and also research methods at the same time, and also issues and debates quite early on in the course. What I show my students right at the start is this diagram, and this sort of really highlights how research methods, approaches and issues and debates really underpin all the other topics. So it's really important that we get a grasp on what these 3 means. These glue the rest of the course together. So the approaches then, basically you might not have heard about this before, but what we try and do as psychologists is understand behaviour. There's no one correct explanation, and each psychological approach will explain behaviour in a different way. We're going to look at 5 different approaches to understanding behaviour. To give you a little example of what we mean, if you think about a criminal behaviour, the learning approach might explain criminal behaviour in terms of the rewards that the criminal is getting, stealing the car, or a lack of punishment. In contrast to that, the biological approach might explain the same behaviour in terms of a genetic fault or the neurotransmitters, something physical. So really different approaches to explaining the same behaviour. And these 5 approaches that we're going to be studying, there's no right or wrong explanation, but there is an implication that would follow. So if you are assuming there's a biological cause for a behaviour, you would assume that you would treat that with drugs. But yeah, there's no right or wrong. We just need to understand each of the 5 approaches. In terms of the research methods, what that strand is all about, we've said that psychologists are trying to understand behaviour, and the research methods looks at the how psychologists go about that. And there's 5 different types of research methods that we need to look at: experiments, observations, case studies, self-report, and correlation. And you will have one research methods lesson every week, because research methods do underpin everything, and it also there's quite a large percentage of the overall mark that is just research methods. So it's really important we get our head around it. Again, there's no right or wrong research method. Each research method had its own strengths and weaknesses. And then our final pillar is these issues and debates. And these are the wider issues in psychology. These are the things like nature, nurture, are we born or made a certain way, free will and determinism, and the ethics around research. So we will be introducing these quite early into the course. Again, it's just so that you can link them to all other aspects of the course and get a real feel for how they fit into all the other topics. In terms of what you might want to be doing in preparation over the summer, I'm sure you'll all be keen to get started. You might want to go out and get a textbook. There is absolutely no obligation for you to do this. You don't need a textbook. All the information that I give you, all the PowerPoints that I give you are enough for you to get an A star. But I do realise that some of you will want to look for a textbook. Just make sure if you're doing this that it's AQA first of all, and also it's teaching from 2015, because we did have a spec change. So just to make sure you've got the right content in the book. And then the next thing I'd like to do is your tasks on Firefly. If you've not had a look at these already, these are under resources, sixth form, induction and psychology. And once you get to this page, there's lots of different resources that shows you what the course is about. But quite importantly, it's your tasks that I'd like you to do over the summer. So we've said then that we're going to start with approaches, and right at the start of this topic we look at the origins of psychology, and we look at where psychology started from. Today it's a really scientific discipline. We are in the science department at Prince Henry's, but that's not always been the case. We did start off with quite philosophical roots with quite a lot of key contributors along the way. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to use all the information on Firefly and any other research that you can get your hands on and create some sort of timeline that shows you where it started off right to where we are at the present day. And this is what I'd like you to include in your timeline. So starting off at the 17th to 19th century, all these contributors along the way, and finishing up where we are now. So if you could try and present this in a really interesting way, this is going to be something that you would need to revise from. It's a real part of the course, and it needs to be really clear. So you've got a really clear picture in your head of how psychology has got to where it is today. And that's it really. I'm really excited to meet you all in September. You have chosen a fantastic course, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you.